What is up, everyone? My name is Christian, recording live here to you for LVVLXL. Today, I'm sitting here with none other than Woodburn and the Portland area's very own hip-hop artist, Dobleon. How are we feeling today?
Yo, what up, bro? Thank you for having me, you know what I mean? I'm feeling tremendous, you know what I mean? Tremendously well.
As you should be. You just put out a new record, Salon de Jazz, but before we get into that, kind of want to cover a little bit about who you are first. You've put out 4 EPs already, 3 of them this year. This year, dude.
Right.
For those out there who maybe don't know who you are, or maybe just discovered you, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, man. I'd like to bring up the fact that, you know what I'm saying, before Dobleon, I actually, went by my government, AB. So I actually had more bodies of work out, but since I rebranded, I got my shit out. I'm basically a mesh of, hip-hop, the essence of hip-hop, R&B and jazz, you know what I'm saying? And in one, I'm trying to basically mix, which I gotta always give credit, to the black artists that paved the way, you know what I mean? So I'm Mexican, so I like to put my flavor on that shit. So I'm just a mesh, I'm like a gumbo and shit.
I respect that. Let's get a little bit into the kind of jazz aspect of your beats. Something that I found really cool. That Salon de Jazz is another record produced with your friend Cabana,
right, as
part of Late Night Soul. You guys are both Late Night Soul together.
Yeah, that's my bro.
And both of you actually really complement each other's melodic and really soulful approach to music. I want to ask, can you tell us a bit about the beats and your partnership with Late Night Soul and Cabana?
Man. First of all, I appreciate that. And yeah, man, I started making music with Cabana. You know what I'm saying? We were like 15. And basically, I never stopped since. He was the reason why I even got to use a mic and shit like that. So ever since me and him started freestyling together, we had little ciphers when we were like, 8th grade and shit. So by the time we started actually recording, it was kind of set. You know what I'm saying? It was written in stone.
And who were you listening to at that point in middle school?
It's kind of interesting. I had a plethora of artists, for real. I was a huge Wiz Khalifa fan, but Chief Keef changed my life at the time.
I get that.
I love Joey Badass, Action Bronson. There's a whole lot. Rick Ross. I had too much on my playlist, but I think that seeing a lot of artists around that time come up, I was in middle school. I was in around that age. That was when the Kendricks, the Joeys, you name it, Schoolboy Q's, whatever. I saw it all blow up, Tumblr days. So it's different now, but that was when it started feeling like, okay, this seems more real than it did when I was younger. So this is where I want to be, you know what I mean?
And who do you look to now? Because your beats are very much hip-hop, but they almost have like a kind of soul, and you mentioned jazz before. When I'm hearing your music, I can hear little elements of Sade even sometimes. Like, who's your inspiration now?
Sade.
Sade.
Just
Queen.
Just, yeah, you know what I'm saying? All the legends, Sade. Going back to the jazz thing, I love Miles Davis, bro. Like, Miles Davis is my hero. Dexter Gordon, just so many, bro. Charlie Parker, just a lot of jazz. Louis Armstrong, shit like that. But bro, I'm a 2000s baby, so my mom had me in high school. She had me when Mace and a lot of good shit was happening early 2000s. So I grew up on a lot of R&B, a lot of Bad Boy and things like that. A lot of Mexican music, of course, but it was that you gotta think about it like this. That R&B shit that was being made at the time, the Bad Boy records, they were just samples being flipped from hits that came out before. So that shit was, jazz was inspired that shit somehow, So if you really think about it, jazz was always there. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that really works with your music too, because when I think about jazz and I think about these kinds of songs, they're really personal and kind of introspective. And when I listen to your music, I get the same exact thing. In Salon de Jazz, a lot of your lyrics and the tracks are pretty introspective. They're reflective. They're very much mirrors of who you are, I'd say. And I kind of want to, but they're also very cinematic, almost kind of movie-esque. I kind of want to ask, like, where do you look to when you're approaching writing these songs?
It's a great question. You know, bro, I like to give myself a pat on the back for not really having a specific process. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these songs, I actually made them when I was, 19. I had just turned 20. So I was going through this phase where I wanted to just be more, I wanted to include a lot of imagery in my work. I was feeling like I was really inspired by, Tony Stark's Ghostface, to be exact. You know what I'm saying? His way of rapping was like just rhyming shit that, it probably doesn't make sense, but it rhymes though, you know what I mean? And I went through that phase, but then I started realizing like, Nas is he paints pictures and shit like that, and that's a big example, you know what I mean? So when I started buckling down on my shit, that was when I started trying to make, choruses and getting used to the hooks and things like that. I would like to say that I did spaz a lot on my verses, like pretty long.
Yeah,
you know
I get
what
you.
I mean?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I still took it, because when I was making the shit that I was inspired by Ghostface, like they were long verses, fucking the whole beat is a verse. So when I started making these songs with choruses in between, I had to kind of find a way to, narrow them down and shit like that,
Is that tough to perform live then? Because I know I was at your first show. I think that was your first show this year. Was that your first show?
Yeah, that was my first show.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
That rocked. That was a good show.
That. Yeah.
But second,
I appreciate that.
How was that whole experience performing live? And are you planning to do more live shows? Can you tell us about that?
Definitely. Well, we just had a show the other day. It was dope. It was in Salem. Shout out that. But yeah, man, I do plan on having some more shit up here in Portland. I think I got a sound that'll definitely complement this setting. You know what I'm saying?
One thing that I really liked about being at that first show, which was with Mic Check PDX,
right,
over the summer. This was with DJ Cliff, who introduced you as the voice of the next generation of hip hop in Portland. I wanted to get that quote because that was memorable to me.
Right, thank you.
How did it feel to get that kind of introduction? Is it kind of unreal?
Dude, my stomach dropped. Like, you know what I mean? It's easy. Shout out Cliff forever. That was moments before he said that, I was just sitting in the bench, just low-key anxious. But when he said that, shit just boosted my confidence to a whole nother level.
That's what's up.
And it just means a lot coming from people like Cliff, because he knows a lot of legends that have come out of here. And shout out Versatile and all the legends. So hearing that shit from him is like, that was a stamp for me. You know what I mean? Like, that's a huge stamp for me.
Honestly, I think it was pretty inspiring. I'm a Latino myself, but we are in the Portland area. The demographic here is majoritively white people.
Right.
We know this.
Talk to them.
But being Latino myself, right. I know how hard it can be to kind of find your voice, or let alone even establish a voice out here. For you to get the intro was incredible, not just for you, but like just for me to hear something like that. But I want to ask, like, how do you stay in touch with your roots here and channel that into your music?
I just like to thank my dad, bro. Like, just watching my parents, period, just watching them work and shit, watching them do their thing. I come from where my mom, she was born in Mexico, but she came here at 11, 12. So she got hip to the culture here, she got into the shit that I love now. So having that, and then having my dad that was just, absolutely no English, you just talk to me in Spanish. This is what we do. I don't care about rap, just corridos and shit like that. So it was a perfect balance growing up, because I had the best of both worlds and shit. So that definitely inspires me, bro. That helps me keep that chip on my shoulder of like, yo, I can't let go of this flavor right here because this is like I can represent for a lot of people that, you know, still don't get that spotlight and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, do you know how dope it is to come into here, but doing the show, and before we start recording, hear you talking about little crickets that we're eating in Mexico.
Right.
It's cool to have the conversations with its flavor is what you call it, and there's not enough of that in Portland. So I gotta respect you for that. I give you props, especially in the music too, because you don't hear a lot of Latinos in music. They're out there, but usually more in like the indie scene, the alternative scene. Not many in the rap scene. So respect to you.
For sure, man. I appreciate that, bro. You know, I'm just trying to bring a different type of plate to the table, bro. You know, you've had rice, you've had peas, you've had mash, you've had mac.
Yep.
But you need some adobo in that bitch, you know what I mean? You need some guajillo and ajo and shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
Chile de árbol.
Right, exactly, like we were talking about, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You need that shit.
Let's shift a little bit. Our backdrop here is this painting, which is very, very cool, very eclectic. I want to ask, you recently started uploading more music to YouTube and to TikTok, and on your recent video, Do My Thing, we got to see this come alive. First of all, just tell me about this.
Yeah, man, it's a mess, truthfully, but it's my mess, you know what I mean? It's basically, so I've been painting for a minute, bro. I've been drawing since I could pick up a pencil, you know what I'm saying? I started painting when I was a freshman, and when I left high school, I just got back to it, you know. As I graduated, I picked up on a few artists, and aside from music, bro, I am, you know, shout out to all the artists that inspire me, but I am very inspired by just the 80s, bro, just the late 70s, the 80s painters, you know. But my favorite is Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Okay.
And I love the fact that, you know, dude was always himself, an expressionist, a true expressionist, you know what I mean? And so basically what I take when I make, you know, paintings, I'm all about expressionism. I might not make it look realistic. I might not make it look like a Renaissance painting, but it'll feel like a Renaissance painting, you know?
Yeah, and what I thought was cool about this is that it feels really authentically you, especially getting to see a video of you just like hanging out and chilling and just putting this thing together. Like you were just kicking back and making, like you don't see that a lot, which I found really refreshing. But really in like your music videos, all the stuff that I'm seeing is stuff around your area. I'm seeing Woodburn, I'm seeing record stores, I'm seeing, you know, jet skis out in the water. Like, can you tell me about your approach to music videos and the locations you do? Yeah,
man. It's actually crazy. I got to give a shout out to, you know what I'm saying, my man Stash, because, you know, me and Cabana, we make the music, and then these past videos, you know, he'd come to us with ideas and shit like, yo, I see such and such song by the water, or let's go to a thrift, or let's go, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. So I think our first two videos that I made with him, it was inspiring, you know what I mean? Because when I would make videos, my process would be like, let's go to the block, you know, let's go to El Centro and shit, and let's just fucking shoot a video, and then that's it, and then we'll just call it a day. And it's hard, but nah, man, this changed my whole shit. So yeah, man, that was like a crazy part of I guess my process behind visuals and shit. It's like eye opener, you know what I mean?
And what I really like is that it feels real. There's a moment, and I forget which music video, so I apologize, but there's a moment where you're kind of just walking around, I think on the way to the next shoot. I think this was actually in jet skis, I'm not sure. And some dude is walking by and you're smoking, and he stops to smoke with you. And it was just like a very real moment that like probably wouldn't have made other like, you know, high-end music videos, you know what I mean? Like studio music videos, but with you, like it adds flavor to who you are and to your music. And it's like, now we're all living in this kind of space together. Like he's the homie, we're just having a good time. And again, I respect that. I thought it was really cool.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that scene was crazy. We had shot it in my city, and yeah, that homie, shout out that homie. I don't know his name, but he hit the J and shit.
Yeah.
Viciously too, but you know
dude,
what I mean?
Dude was geeking, man. He had that smile on his face.
Oh yeah, he was faded. He was off one, but you know, it was the perfect time.
Let's shift a little bit. I have another question here for you. You recently worked on a song with Charlie Bannard.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, which is great. Was this your first
man.
time collaborating with a local artist like that?
So the crazy part is, you know, shout out Charlie, bro. He's actually from Arizona. He stays out in Arizona. He had found me when I dropped my tape Brown Taboo, and he had, I don't know what song he had hit me up for, but followed me. We were messaging each other, and I guess he had told me something that, like, you know, his parents come down here a lot for sports or some shit, and he had told me, yo, let's link. And around that time, before he was gonna come to Oregon, he had sent me that song, you know. He's like, yo, you should add a verse on this. And bro, I did that fast as hell. So, you know, I met him. He came to Oregon, and we linked up in Salem. It was dope, man. I really want to work with that guy more. You know what I mean? He's one of those. He's a legend already, bro, in my eyes. You know, he's a young kid that's like going crazy with the cadences and shit like that.
I mean,
fire.
Credit to you too, because one thing I liked about your flow specifically in that is that it felt similar to like your own work that you do in your own albums, but it almost started off like almost kind of like lyrically as if you were singing, and then kind of slowly shifted back into more of like that, you know, verse style kind of hip hop,
Right.
which it is very much you. Like you're a man of different flavors who can kind of approach different genres and do your thing on it, which I thought was really cool. So again, another hats off to you.
Nah, man, I'm really appreciative of that shit. That shit means a lot, because I'm gonna be honest. When I heard that song, dude, I had the whole melody in my head. I just put it down, because that's my shit, bro. R&B is my shit. You know what I mean? Anything with that type of feeling, it's just my weakness. So I do, and I believe it's a challenge on my end, you know, because I could write rhymes forever, but it hits when you make something and then your mom tells you, like, yo, this song is beautiful, you know. And I took some more time to write that, though it was fast. I still, you know, I thought about it more writing that than what I usually write on. So it was a nice challenge, bro. It was definitely like a refreshing type of thing.
Yeah, it's a great way to push yourself as an artist too, which is great. You just mentioned your mom. Do you usually play music for your mother?
I don't.
No,
nah,
stay away from that.
I'm not totally comfortable yet. Like, you know, I'm down to send her a link. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be there while you listen to it, things like that. Cause I got a lot of cousins, bro. I got a big family. You know what I mean? So a lot of my cousins are in high school or they just graduated, so they're watching me and they're talking about me at the family functions and things like that. So
are they putting you on, you know, for Thanksgiving?
dude,
they put Dobleon on?
You know, they'll do that, or they'll put me on their stories, which is great because, you know, that's the youth. So they're just spreading the word. And yeah, they'll be playing shit that I don't want them to play around my family, because, you know, it's a lot of crazy shit on there. But, you know, it's whatever, bro. At one point, it's gonna be all over their face. So
absolutely. Back to collabs. Are you thinking about doing more? Would you like to do more? Just
definitely,
as we hit into the new year?
Definitely, bro. I'm always open to creating with any, like, not anybody, but, you know, anybody who I know I can compliment their sound. They can compliment what I do. You know, I just like that. I love the feeling of actually having a session, you know, on a physical type of thing. You know, I'll send you a verse. You can send me one back. We could do that. You know, that's always dope. But it's different when you're in the studio or when you have a session with that person. So yeah, man, I'm always open to that shit, as long as, you know, as long as it's organic. To be honest, it's really it.
Absolutely. I want to ask, since you've put out 4 records already, again 3 this year, which is huge, by the way.
Thank you.
Can you talk about what's next? Are you in a position to tell us more about what you're working on?
Of course, man. You know, so the year's about to end, so I just thought I'd drop this tape, you know. But I got so much stuff, man. I got a whole lot of bodies that I want to drop. You know, I got some collaborations with some artists here in Portland. Shout out Micro, you know. Shout out Kid Moses, and Shout out Corey B and Eric Boderick, just a lot of artists, you know, dope cats. So yeah, I got that shit coming this upcoming year. Beginning of the year, I got, you know, I might have an EP, I might have a tape, you know, just depends how I'm feeling. But I got a lot of shit that I'm stacking on. So
You work fast, bro. I don't know where this comes from.
yeah, I don't know.
What are you
I'm saying?
doing out there in Woodburn, bro?
It's well, that's all there is to do. You know what I mean? Right now, shout out the World Cup. You wake up, you watch the World Cup,
Yes,
and
sir.
then, you know, I'm with my brothers, so we'll just watch it, and then you know we might work on something. You know what I mean? But besides that, bro, it's every day. It's like I get up and just there's no hangout place. You know, there's a mall, but it's nothing to do at a mall if you don't got money like that. You know what I mean? So you just, at least me, bro, I just want to chill. I just want to I listen to some sounds. I want to fucking rap. I want to sing, you know.
Yeah, I think that's something that comes out in your records too. When I hear you kind of rap about like your day-to-day life, I imagine you out in Woodburn, but it's you know, it still feels like I'm hanging out with you. Like you're talking about, you know, just smoking blunts and
Right.
just chilling, you know, cruising around and stuff. But like,
Yeah, man.
it works really well. So
Yeah, man, that shit means a lot, bro. Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, bro. I feel like I have this mentality, you know, because me and him, when we were making music in high school, bro, it was not comfortable, bro. We had a time limit, you know what I'm saying? We had curfews and shit, you know, so he had to go home, or I had to go home, or, you know, my parents would pull up, and, you know, obviously we're off some type of substance, so we gotta bounce out and shit. So, you know, I always was so used to, when we met up, fucking doing like 5 songs every time we met up, or, you know, just over time, within the time that we got out of high school, you know, till now, I think I've made like over 300 songs, you know.
300.
Right.
That is insane. That is an
Right.
insane amount.
And obviously, like, I'm just counting everything I made. So since I was 17 up, you know, we just been going crazy. But I'm not saying that to say every fucking song is the one, because trust me, out of 300, I'm picking like 40. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Just to be selective. And yeah, man, it's always, you know, now that I'm getting older, it's kind of different. I wanna just be more. I don't want to have to, you know, pressure myself to rap that fast. I want to be able to just see what I can do with one song. Maybe I can do something crazier than I would have done if I just worked on it.
Yeah, I think it's always best to just be yourself. I think too. Yeah.
Right, man.
Can I ask, what is your favorite song? Like, do you have one that, like, or maybe a couple that like you are really proud of?
That are out or that are unreleased?
Oh, that you can mention.
Okay, yeah,
If you
no.
want to hold those that aren't out yet, then just that are out.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I got a lot of shit that's coming out that is my favorite shit. But right now, the stuff that I have out, I'll give you my top 5.
Okay.
My number one, it has to be Face This on my
Yes.
new Salon de Jazz album. Number 2, it's got to be Reina off my Solo album. And number 3, I'm gonna have to go with Can't Be from my Brown Taboo, just because like it's done numbers that I didn't think it would ever do, so I'm proud of that. Number 4, I got, you know, I'm gonna have to go with Diamond Co.
Sure.
I love that song. And I think my 5th one, it's got to be Flamingos off my Pantera
That's
tape.
a great one, man.
I love that one. I love that
Flamingos.
whole tape, but Flamingos, I was like off a perk when I was rapping. I wasn't for real, but you know what I mean? I couldn't stop rapping on that fucking song, you know? So,
Honestly, it
was
feels
crazy.
like you're off something every time you're coming in with the chorus, bro.
Right, it's
They're,
like
they're all hella
It's like I
catchy.
just huffed Beetlejuice or something. It's
Yeah.
weird, yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
You know, but that's the type of shit I want to do. I want you to feel, when you listen to my music, I want you to feel the way, I want you to see the same shit you see when you look at my paintings, you know, smears, texture, rippings, fucking taggings, shit like that. this is the shit that I see, this is the shit that I feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to compliment. I've always said, like, you know, I want my shit to sound good in a gallery than a venue. You know what I mean?
I'm actually kind of happy you said that. I have this kind of tradition where when I'm driving over, crossing the freeway, and through the waterfront here in Portland, if it's nighttime, I'll usually look over at the city. Kind of inspiring for me, and just kind of a moment of reflection.
Sure.
And today I was actually listening to your music on the way over here, and I'm not gonna lie, I was geeking. Like,
I love that, man. I appreciate that, for real. That's crazy, because, you know, that's why I had to tell you Faces is my favorite song, because that's one that, fuck, man, before it was out, I was just bumping that. You know, I'd go walking, or if I'd see some type of viewpoint, you know, I gotta play that shit just because if it feels good when I'm in that setting, bro, and it's my song, shit.
It'll feel
like
good anyway.
The universe is telling me some shit.
Yes.
At least that's how I take
Absolutely.
it. You know what I'm saying? So.
The last question I have for you is who's going to win the World Cup?
France.
It has nothing to do with your music. Who is going to win the World
I
Cup?
appreciate this question so fucking much, and it's gonna be France. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, back-to-back winners, huh? You think
Look,
so?
man. Morocco.
It's got to be Morocco.
I gotta say,
The
if it
underdogs.
ain't, because look, I just love France. All right, I love France. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going for France. I'm hoping France wins. But if it ain't France, let it be Morocco. All right.
Sure.
So whichever one of those two, anybody but Argentina. You know what I mean? No disrespect. I love y'all, but y'all hurt me. You know what I mean? And
Would you have liked to see a Messi versus Ronaldo final though?
oh yeah, hell
wouldn't, right?
yeah,
Yeah, no, I get
hell
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just very disappointed that my man didn't get to shine that last game. So that's sad. You know what I mean? But,
You heard it here first. Dobleon, allez les bleus. Dobleon, thank you so much for spending time with us and getting to talk to you. It was fantastic, man. Anytime you want to do this again, I'd be more than happy to, because I think you're a super interesting guy. And I can't wait to hear what's next for you in 2023.
I appreciate it, bro.